All right, welcome everybody back to BVI Pilots. I am your host, John. Glad to be here once again with all you wonderful, wonderful people. We're here on another sneak peek review. This is week 15, and it's going to be, exciting stuff. So we got the review, which is going to be covering the glare shield and warning lights and all that really cool stuff, and we're doing it just for you folks. While we're doing the live stream, I know some of you might have questions. I will open up the chat after we go over this stuff. We've got the 739 extended range loaded on P3D. That way we can go through this with you and show you all this stuff that it does. I'll make sure that NVDA is enabled as well, so you can hear NVDA and know what's going on as we tab through and look at this stuff. So as Andy introduces himself once again, welcome back to the show, my friend Andy. How you doing, buddy?
Hello. Oh, not too bad.
Awesome.
Not too bad, not too bad.
So I'm gonna...
So,
Okay.
Not checked.
NVDA is unmuted.
Volume drop. Mute TFM checkbox not checked. Volume drop. Mute team checkbox not checked. Volume
Okay.
drop. Mute first officer checkbox not checked. Volume drop. Mute P3D checkbox not checked. Volume drop. Mute Maxim checkbox checked. Volume drop. Mute desktop audio checkbox checked.
And just to make sure...
Lockheed Mark folder view list. Gold wave. GF. Google Chrome 40. App
Go ahead,
cursor.
Andy.
Normal cursor.
I'm doing a test here.
Normal
Make
cursor.
sure we're
Toolbar.
good. So, tell us, how you been? How's life?
Yeah,
What's going on? Any babies? Did you get married? Any kids?
Normal cursor.
Ah,
Mute app Google Chrome.
right. And no kids.
You copy dot also. Yahoo
Always
com
been
selected. YouTube.
married.
Forget the kids! We don't want them! I don't blame you, my friend.
Normal cursor.
Kids are a pain in the rumpus, let me tell you. I love my kids, though.
20,000. Clickable banner landmark. Clickable guide toggle button pressed.
Gotta protect
YouTube home
myself
visit.
there.
Clickable skip map. Search landmark. Search edit. Search plan.
BVI pilots.
20,387 YouTube document. Main landmark.
Let's make sure we're coming.
Latest from BVI pilots heading level 2. Clickable heading level 3 link sneak peek review week 50.
Here
There
we
might
go.
be
Visited,
more
visited.
coming this week.
Main landmark. Clickable complimentary landmark.
Towards the end of this week, there might be more, but
YouTube video player enabled.
bottom overhead
The Play
was
Media, grouping unavailable.
last
Okay.
overhead panel.
Cool.
So that pushed the 22.9 preview build.
20,387 sneak peek review week
And
50.
then once the glare shield is
Unknown.
done, then we will push
Razor Sync service process. Lockheed Martin Prepar 3 DV401 column 1.
2.9 preview. Probably preview.
Lockheed Martin Prepar 3 DV4.
Very cool.
Lockheed Martin Prepar 3 DV4.
Just so you know, we got sound. I went on YouTube to test it, and I heard this guy talking. He sounded just like you. Oh, because it was you. Never
It
mind.
probably was.
Dang on! I'm getting smarter every day. Damn! Alright. Anyways, I'm acting silly. You gotta have fun, guys. Have fun. Life is too daggone short to be grumpy and bumpy and, all that stuff. So, by the way, real quick, shout out to everybody that's a part of BVI Pilots. All the pilots out there that's a part of BVI. Shout out to every one of you guys. New viewers. Those that might be interested in flying and learning all that exciting stuff. Hey, we welcome you. So, all right, we are on the P3D window, my friend. You're going to be my guiding eyes.
Oh boy.
Lead the way, Captain. Where do we go now? Huh? And not into a wall, please.
Alright, so. Okay. We can do that.
My mom says, son,
Let
I'm
me
going to
look-
guide you. Bam! Mom! Oh, I forgot, son.
Ow.
Yeah. Mommy runs you into stuff. So we don't let mommy guide us no more, because she's dangerous. All right. So let's go ahead and start this up. My
Yeah,
bad. I'm
right.
just in a good mood, so. All right.
Alright, so we're going to do left bracket control P.
Left bracket.
Bring up the panels.
All right. Left bracket control P.
Panels preview. Level 0 left overhead collapse 1 to 1. Lasso 11.0.0.34 I performance rest. 100 CPU. 76 RAM. 77 tooltip.
We're going to which
And
one?
you can do that by pressing bottom overhead. Just press the letter B.
Oh,
Bottom overhead collapse 1 to 1 level 0.
it is collapsed. You want me to expand it?
Yep. So we can expand it,
Expanded. 0 items.
It's expanded.
and we'll down arrow to engines, and you'll hear cut off, cut off.
Cut off. Cut off. Level 1 engines 1 to 1.
Yeah, it's a cut off. Cut off. Is it telling me to turn off my plane? Because that's not very nice. All right. Good deal.
Alright, so this is the engines panel. This is where you start your engines and all that kind of stuff. And it does have hotkeys, and you can also tab around. We'll tab around it first.
Okay.
So you can press tab. Press tab and you'll find an APU starter.
APU start selector combo box on collapsed.
Yep, and it says on.
Okay, mine says off because I'm in cold and dark.
Hey man, you told me to start up with short.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was messing around with workflows.
So let me ask you, on this APU list, where it says APU on, is that an indicator, or would, like, if I moved that, it would shut APU off?
No, if you moved it up, then it would turn the APU off. It's actually a switch.
Okay.
So then if we tab one more time, we'll go into the engine number
Engine 1 moving. Engine 1 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
Engine 1 start
Where you'll
selector
find-
auto collapsed.
Yep. This is the startup, engine start switch. Now it has different positions. It has ground, auto, continuous, and flight.
App start cursor. Normal cursor.
Okay.
Wait for him to... Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
So, engine start selector switch has different positions. It's got ground, auto, continuous, and flight. And so generally what you're going to do is you're either going to put it in auto or ground if you're just starting up.
Right.
So generally you're in the middle of pushback, so then what you would do, you would take engine number 2, you would flip it to ground.
Because you're starting up.
Not before. Yeah, if you hit, and it'll make sense when we get to the rest of this. If you press tab, there's a fuel control switch. It's cut
Engine
off.
1 fuel switch combo box cut off collapsed.
Yep.
That basically introduces fuel into the engines. If you tab again, you're gonna get the engine 2 block.
Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 start selector combo box
Which
auto
is the
collapsed.
same thing, engine
Yep,
2
it says
starter.
engine 2 blown up and collapsed. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Engine 2.
And then you have the and then you have the cutoff switch for it.
Engine 2 fuel switch combo box cut off
fuel
collapsed.
switch. Cut off.
And if you, yep, tab again.
Ignition selector
you
combo
have
box
the
I know collapsed.
ignition selector.
Yeah, it says I know.
And this one, no, it's INGL. ING is the abbreviated form for ignition.
Yeah.
So it's got 3 positions, left, both, and right. And so what you do is you want to start your engine. So always the right one first. So you flip the ignition switch to R. Then you go to this engine block number 2, flip it to ground. Then you take your fuel control switch for number 2 and you flip it up to idle. Then you wait until it reaches N120%, and then you flip it to cutoff.
Yeah, it's just like in the
And then you
smaller
do the
planes
same
when
thing.
you're giving enough fuel to start it.
Yep. And then you do the same thing for number 1. You go back to your ignition switch, turn it to left. Go back to your engine 1 block, flip it to ground. Hit the control fuel switch to idle until it reaches N120%. Flip it to idle or cutoff. And you'll have your engines will be up and running. You'll have to flip a few bleed switches on and off, but I'm trying to sort out the whole workflow for that. But that's how this works. So if we go back around to the tree view.
Panels preview. Engines 1 to 1 level 1.
Yep.
To make things fast, Alt A is an alpha is the APU.
APU start selector combo box on collapsed.
Alt 1 is your engine number 1 block.
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1 start selector combo
Engine
box
number-
auto collapsed.
Alt 2 is the engine number 2
Engine 2
block.
grouping. Engine 2 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
And Alt I is in India is your ignition switch.
So I guess when you're flying it, when the engines are running,
Ignition selector
the
combo box
engines
idle
go
collapsed.
to idle.
Well,
Or-
no, so
wait a
what
minute.
would
Engine 1 grouping. Engine
happen...
1 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
No, auto. I mean auto.
Yeah, well, they'd know they'd be in continuous, because what you're supposed to do is, let's say you're starting engine number 2. You flip your ignition switch to R. You take your engine number 2, flip it to ground. Turn on the idle on the
Lockheed Martin
fuel
Prepar 3
control
DV401.
switch.
Lockheed Martin Prepar.
When it reaches 20% N1, then you flip the fuel control
700
switch to cutoff. Then what
LASSO
happens
11.0.0.34
is,
high performance rest. 100 CPU. 70.
once your engine number 2 has spun up to idle, it will flip back, the engine starter switch will flip from ground to auto. Then what you do before you leave, you have
Engine
to
1 grouping.
turn
Engine
it
1
to
start selector combo box auto
continuous.
collapsed.
What we can
Because
do
they
is after
took
we go to
flips
these
to auto.
lights, even though you're still working on the bleeders, we'll give them an idea with them engines. After we go through lights, we'll do a little preview of it, because I'm sitting here on the runway with the APU running, so we could do a little, we ain't gonna do it all, but we could just show them kind of what it would be like.
But that's basically what the engines do. You have to have those, once the engine starter switch flips to auto, you have to put it into continuous, because any other mode is a start mode.
I'm still here, sorry, I had to fix my,
Oh, so
alright.
so yeah, anything other than continuous is a startup mode, and if you throttle up in a startup mode, you could have problems, like flame out on the ground or whatever.
Oh, you said anything other than continuous is your different startup modes?
Yes. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Continuous is flight mode, basically. And then when we are ready, we can do lights.
Go ahead, I'm listening. I'm just listening to you.
Yeah. Okay, so lights. This is the external lights, not the internal lights.
So where do you want me to...
Internal lights are controlled
APU start selector
elsewhere.
combo box on collapsed.
Go back
Panels
to the
preview.
tree
Engines 1 to 1
view,
level 1.
and from engines down arrow to lights.
Lights 1 to 1 level 1.
Okay, there we go, we're on lights. Okay.
Alright, these are all external lights. Now I'm going to let people know that there's a fair good amount of them. And
There's only 4
uncommon to
lights.
popular, yeah, right. Unknown to common popular belief, there's actually 4 landing lights. There's 2 different types of
Yep.
landing lights. There's, yeah, and we'll get to those. So if you, we'll tab around it first, and then we'll do hotkeys.
10:24 p.m.
From lights tab, you're gonna have retractable
Landing lights proven. Left
landing
retractable landing light
lights,
combo box retract collapsed.
left and right.
Yep.
Right retractable landing light combo box retract collapsed.
Yep. There's left. There's right.
And there's the second
Left fixed
one.
off button.
Then the second set of landing lights is the fixed landing lights. There's
Right
2
fixed
of
off button.
those, left and right.
Left and right. Fixed.
Runway turn off lights proven. Left turn off button.
Alright, now you have another set of 2 lights. They're turn off lights, runway turn off lights. There's the left one and the right one.
Right turn off button.
You know what those are used for?
That's
I don't know
what.
if many people know.
That's what control the runway lights.
Those are actually lights that
When you're taxiing.
when you're turning on and when you turn on and off of a runway,
Yeah.
it lights up the small little corners and crevices so you don't run anything over on
Basically,
your way.
it lights up your blind spots. What they call blind spots.
Yep.
That's really cool.
Taxi light off button multi.
And then you have
Taxi light,
taxi light, logo light.
which is off right now. I'm guessing you can just hit space and it will turn it on.
Yeah. Anti-collision lights.
Taxi light on. Taxi light on. Taxi on.
Wing lights.
Taxi light off. Taxi light off. Taxi off.
Wheel well lights.
Logo light off button multi.
Logo.
And
Anti-collision light off button multi.
position
Wing lights off button multi W.
Wing.
Wheel well lights off button multi.
Wheel well. Well.
Position light steady button multi.
Position light steady. Is what I'm on now.
Yep. And that is the end of those.
What is a
Now,
position light
the
steady?
hotkeys.
Wheel well lights off. Position light steady button multi.
Position light steady means that it's on constantly. There's 3 different modes. There's on, steady, and strobe.
Taxi light off button multi.
Strobe is kind of like
Position
the
light steady
strobe lights where it flashes.
Position light steady button. Taxi light off button multi. Logo light off button multi. Taxi light.
Hold on.
Runway turn off lights proven. Right turn off.
Let me get back on that because when I tried to move it.
Left turn off button. Landing lights proven. Right fixed off button. Left fixed off button. Right retractable.
Oops.
Let me get back to it.
Panels preview. Position light steady button multi.
Oh, it's just a button.
Pressed. Position light strobe steady. Position light strobe
Yeah,
steady.
it's a button. If you press it, it cycles through.
Yeah, it says strobe steady.
Navigation off. Position lights off. Position lights off.
Navigation
Pressed.
position lights off.
Position light steady.
There we go.
Position light
Steady.
steady. Navigation on.
Alright, we're back to.
And we're back to the tree view. Now the hotkeys
Panels preview. Lights 1 to 1 level 1.
for landing lights are going to be Alt L as in Lima. And then you
Landing
can
lights
tab
proven.
through
Left
the
retractable
four.
landing light combo box retract collapsed.
Runway turn off lights is Alt R as in Romeo.
Runway turn off lights proven. Left turn off button. Right turn off button.
And taxi is Alt plus T as in Tango.
Taxi light on.
And note
Taxi on.
if you're doing this when you're on the tree view with these single like taxi lights, collision lights, and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. If you're on the tree view and you say press Alt T, it's just going to activate taxi lights. It won't even take you to it. We have logo light, Alt plus G is in golf.
Alt G. Logo light.
Anti-collision light, Alt plus A as in alpha.
Logo lights on.
Wing lights, Alt plus W as in whiskey.
Wing lights on.
Okay.
Wheel lights, Alt H as in hotel. And position lights, Alt plus P as in Papa. And that finishes the overhead panel and push 22.9 preview build that has all of the overhead and a whole bunch of other things in it, and you can read about it by going to talkingflightmonitor.com/preview-releases. I believe it'll be in the show notes.
This is really cool,
And-
man. Now, there's a lot of buttons, so, you got to learn it.
Yep. And the next thing is the glare shield. And if we open glare shield, and we have, if you down arrow from the open glare shield, you have warnings.
Let's see.
Taxi light on button Alt T.
Oh, let me get to the preview.
Runway turn off lights grouping. Right turn off button. Taxi light on button Alt T. Logo light on button. Anti-collision. Wing lights on button.
I got tab down here.
Wheel well lights off button Alt A. Position lights steady button Alt T. Panels preview lights 1 to 1 level 1.
Okay, so down arrow.
Level 0 overhead collapse 1 to 1.
Do I down arrow from?
Down arrow to, yeah, collapse bottom overhead, and then down arrow past the overhead, because that's old and out of date. And then
Level 1 lights 1 to 1.
blasting
Level 0
line
bottom
for
overhead
the
expanded
glare
1 to 1.
shield.
Collapsed.
Okay, I collapsed it.
Overhead collapse 1 to 1 level 0.
Yeah, and
Overhead.
you open it and down arrow, and there is warnings.
Glare shield collapse 1 to 1 level 0.
There it is. Glare shield collapsed.
Yep, now open it and then down
Expanded,
arrow
0
warnings.
items. Level 1 warnings 1 to 1.
There it is. Warnings.
Now, this is a non-interactive panel that has nothing but indicators on it. The interesting thing about this panel is if you have a hydraulic problem, an air
App start
systems
cursor, normal cursor.
problem, IRS, fuel, electrical, APU, doesn't make any bit of
Fire warnings
difference
grouping, left
what
fire
it
indicator
is.
off.
It's got all the major sections and
Right fire
segments
indicator
we
off.
covered in the past here.
Master caution warnings grouping. Left master caution indicator on.
So if one of those sections has a problem, then the light will light up. So
Fire
you'll
warnings
see
grouping. Left fire indicator off.
sometimes when you're doing your startup workflows, sometimes the air systems light will come on saying that there's a config problem
Off.
because the sequence
fire
in
indicator
which
off.
you do things would
Left fire
require
indicator.
you to do
Panel
air
preview warnings
systems
1 to 1.
after that light turns on.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't really demonstrate it here, but
So if it says left fire on, is that a
so
problem?
These are if it says left fire on,
Yeah.
Fire warnings grouping. Left fire indicator off.
Left fire indicator
Yeah, so
on.
if you have left and right, yeah, it should be a problem. If it is on,
No, mine's off. I was just saying.
I wouldn't think so.
Houston,
Yeah, that would be
we
a
got a
problem.
problem.
Because it's saying it's, it was, yep,
but you know the cool thing
yeah.
for fire? If a fire did happen like that and it came on, there's automatic extinguishers, and they will.
Yep.
Pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I'm done messing around. Go ahead.
You ever wonder? You wonder if your dreaded master caution warning lights are on?
Oh my gosh.
Well, here they are.
Let's see.
Right fire indicator off.
Right.
Left and right.
Here we go.
Master caution warnings grouping. Left master
Master
caution indicator on.
Caution indicator. It says it's on. What?
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. I bet you money. Right now it says on. Listen, guys.
Right master caution indicator on.
Right indicator on.
Left master caution indicator on.
Left is on. Did you hear that? If you can hear it.
Oh, that's interesting. I heard
Right
that.
master caution indicator on.
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe you have a misconfig. So, oh, I want to bet there's a because you're just sitting there.
I'm on the runway. I didn't program the CDU.
Yeah, that's probably why nothing
Flight
is
controls
set up.
indicator on motel.
Your engines are all set up and turned
Master
on,
caution.
so it's
Flight controls
probably...
indicator on motel.
Flight controlled
Well, we know
indicator.
they work.
It says flight controlled indicator is on.
That would make sense because you hadn't configured all of your hydraulics or
IRS
turned
indicator off all time.
off and
Ah,
Flight
here we
controls
you
go.
hadn't
The
set up
IRS
all
problem.
indicator
of
off all
your
time.
hydraulic stuff. Your bleeds aren't right.
Actually, shouldn't it say
IRS.
IRS? Shouldn't that be on? Because it says off.
No, it's not a problem because right now your IRS is turned off.
Fuel indicator
Oh.
on mode 2.
Fuel indicator is on.
Electrical indicator on mode E.
Electrical indicator
Fuel indicator because you're...
is on.
Yep, that would make sense because a lot
Apple
of this
indicator off
stuff
all time.
isn't configured right.
APU indicator is off.
APU,
Overheat indicator off voltage.
that because you have that set right.
This is cool because even if you're overheating,
Overheat
guys,
indicator.
right here it is, overheat.
Anti-ice indicator on
Yep,
mode
then
T.
you can go track it down.
Anti-ice indicator is on.
Anti-ice.
So does that mean that the anti-ice is on, or is it a problem?
No, it means there's a problem. Remember, these are warning lights.
Oh, that's right. All these are warning. Oh, because the anti-ice isn't on, so it's saying, hey, this needs to be on.
Yep, it's saying this might possibly
Hydraulics
be a
indicator on mode Y.
problem.
Hydraulic is on.
Doors indicator off mode D.
Yep, that means you might have a potential problem with it.
Door indicator.
Here you go,
Off.
doors. Engines.
Engines indicator off mode G. Overhead indicator on mode O.
Overhead indicator is on. That because we're not done up the
That means
overhead
that
yet.
You possibly may. Yep,
Air systems indicator on mode R.
air systems.
That's on. But
Yep, there may be a problem.
well, the jet's not running, so we
Then
can't
we're back.
really do air.
Panels preview warnings 1 to 1 level 1.
And then we're back to the tree view.
So this is really cool, guys, because now when you're flying around and the plane's doing something, you don't understand, man, why is it diving? Why is it, why am I doing a descent? I shouldn't be. You might want to come and look at your lights because, you might get there and it might say, your elevator, you got a problem with the elevator, or, there's a fire on your left engine, or anti-ice is showing as a problem, so you're freezing up your wings, or,
Yep.
very important area. And
Yep.
here's the thing. The 737 has a lot of stuff. You're not going to pick all this up in one day. If you really want to learn it, your best bet's to have a manual and study all this, because there might be things that just don't make sense, and the manual can help you clarify what everything is.
Yep. And that is what we have at this point. The next thing that's coming up, so a word of note and warning.
Level 0 glare shield expanded. Overhead
There
collapse 1 to
is
1
a
level.
Glare Shield FS.
Bottom overhead collapse 1 to 1 level 0.
IS. But we're leaving it out, and the reason why we're leaving it out is because, one, it's not mandatory for us to fly it, and two, even if I did include it, it would be useless at best, because you could say press the minimums button to cycle through the minimums levels, but there's absolutely no way to get current setting out of the plane.
Center overhead collapse 1 to 1 level 0.
Boeing won't let PMD do
Forward
until
overhead
it
collapse
has
1 to 1
FAB.
level 0.
Mm-hmm.
Expanded 0 items.
Or you could say press the
Level 1 flight controls 1 to 1.
minimum's HPA button and cycle through that, but you're not going to be able to tell
Navigation
what the
display 1 to 1.
settings are.
Level 0 forward over. Aft overhead
And of
collapse 1 to 1 level
course,
0.
plan, waypoint, map, and navigation display modes
Forward overhead.
are useless for us because
Center overhead,
one, we
expanded,
can't
0.
get stuff out of them, but they're all graphical charts anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So we're
Level 1
going to
anti-ice 1 to
leave
1.
that out. And the next preview
Hydraulics 1 to 1
that
level
we
1.
do, as a word of warning,
Level 0 center overhead.
will actually require us to take a small little
Bottom overhead
flight
collapse 1 to 1 level 0. Expanded 0 items.
It requires to do
to
what?
show off
Level 1 engines 1 to 1.
everything.
Oh, to take a flight.
The next preview that we do
Apple Star
would
selector combo
require
box on
an
collapsed.
actual flight.
Oh, that's gonna be fun, guys.
Engine 1
Exciting
grouping.
stuff.
Engine 1 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
Because the next thing up on the list after EFIS, which we X'd out altogether,
Engine 1 con.
is autopilot controls.
Engine 1 FLT.
Nice.
Engine 1 con. Engine 1 auto.
A
Engine
rebuilt
1 DRT.
system of autopilot controls.
Engine 1 fuel switch combo
Not
box
only
cut off
for the
collapsed.
panel, but also for the MCP boxes, the heading, altitude, vertical speed, and speed. We'll have rebuilt, better to use, more understandable controls.
Mhm.
Engine 2 grouping. Engine.
Of course, if you have a
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1 fuel switch combo box cut off collapsed.
pilot that understands the
Fixed.
controls
Engine 1 fuel
they're
switch list cut
using,
off.
then it makes for a better
Idle.
airplane ride.
Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1 star valve light in transit. Idle.
Because
Engine 1 fuel valve light closed. Engine 1 star valve light closed.
In some forums when I was looking up something.
Cut off.
Yeah.
Engine 1 star valve light in
he
transit. Idle.
says,
Engine 1
not
fuel valve light
exactly
open.
sure
Engine 1
what
star
this
valve light
means,
open. Cut off.
but
Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1
I'm
star valve
flying
light in
at
transit. Cut off.
38,000 feet,
Idle.
going Mach 0.7.
Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1 star valve light in transit. Idle. Engine 1 fuel valve light open. Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1 star valve light closed. Engine 1
What
star
does
valve
that
light in
mean?
transit. Engine 1 fuel valve light closed. Engine 1
And
star
so
valve light
somebody
closed.
says, well, if you know what that means, if you don't know what it means, maybe you shouldn't be flying a 737 somewhere. But for particular points, it means that you're going too slow.
Mhm.
So the pretty cool thing about this 737, which I don't think the 47 or the
737 cockpit.
have, is it will tell you when you're overspeeding, which of course we would normally
Engine 2 grouping.
think of having an
Lockheed Martin
overspeed
Repar
gauge.
3DV.
It
737
also
cockpit
tells
row
you
1
when
column
you're
2.
going too slow. So,
NASA 11.0.0.34i performance rest. 1 engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box cut off collapsed.
overspeed.
6 engine 2 fuel switch list
That
cut off.
means you're going too fast for your final. If you're too leery about going at a certain speed and you say slow down to 135 on final and all of a sudden you hear underspeed, that means you're going too slow. So you would have to speed up to somewhere in between those two reference points in order to make your final speed the way it should be.
Lockheed Martin Repar 3.
Wow.
737 cockpit row 1 column 2.
So, that's
NASA 11.0.0.34i performance rest. 100 CPU, 88 RAM, 72 tool engine 2.
Let's see here.
Engine 2 fuel switch combo box cut off collapsed. 6 engine 2 fuel switch list cut off. Idle. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 star valve light closed. Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 star valve light in transit.
I will warn people that
Engine 2 star valve light closed.
depending, you may not see this, or you may or you may not see this sometime.
Engine
in
2
the
engine 2 star
future.
selector list
I'm not
auto.
exactly sure what it means at this
Engine 2
point,
con.
but auto throttle
FLT.
indicator has
Engine
two
2 FLT.
different colored lights. It's got red and it's got amber.
Engine 2 con.
And TFM is actually able to tell the difference between the two.
Engine 2 auto.
So you may say something like auto
Engine
throttle
2 GRD.
amber light on, or auto
Engine 2
throttle
FLT.
red light on.
Engine 2 GRD.
Mm-hmm.
Dropbox 156.4.4908 uploading 1,669 files.
Let's
Can't sync
tell
screen.
you about different states of the auto throttle.
Lasso 11.0.0.34 I.
So,
Ignition selector
that
combo box
is
9L collapsed.
everything to this point. Once we get done with the MCP panel,
Ignition selector list INL.
We move on to the
Ignition start selector both.
HGS. Some of it we're not going to include. Most of it we will.
Ignition start selector
Because some
IR.
of
IR.
it, of course, here again is a graph or a chart or a projected image of what it should look like when you, because
Ignition start selector both.
you can ask George about this. So the heads-up display, it actually, when you get close enough to landing and you're lined up for the runway, it will give you a scoped image of what it should look like when you touch down.
Mm-hmm.
And it will also give you like hairpin arrows that show you where exactly you need to be,
737 cockpit.
to be lined up.
Engine 1
So
moving.
if you're a little bit too far to the left,
Engine 1
you
start
may
selector
have an
combo box
arrow
TRD
that
collapsed.
moves slightly to the right.
Apple start selector combo box on collapsed. Panels preview. Engines 1 to 1 level.
The runway.
Ignition selector combo box both collapsed.
Switch different views you can do.
Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Top bottom view. You can do side view.
Cut off.
You can do windshield view.
Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 spar valve light in transit. Idle. Engine 2 fuel valve light open. Engine 2 spar valve light open. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 spar valve light in transit. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Engine 2 fuel valve light
This
closed.
is like the part where you can put in your landing altitude and how long the runway is.
Engine 2 spar valve light in transit. Engine 2 fuel. Engine 2 fuel valve light open. Engine 2 spar valve light open.
Touchdown. How long should it take you to stop?
Normal cursor.
It will calculate all of your
Engine 2 start selector combo box GRD collapsed.
But of course, all this shows up on the ISD.
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Display where it shows engine performance and it shows all this
Cut
other
off.
stuff, which of course we can't.
Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1 spar valve light in transit. Engine 1 fuel valve light open. Engine 1 spar valve light open.
That's where we're headed next.
Mm-hmm.
Engine 1 start selector combo box GRD collapsed.
Then there will be another preview.
Apple start selector combo box on collapsed.
Really cool stuff,
Panels
guys.
preview. Engine 1 to 1 level 1.
That it's
Ignition
exciting
selector combo box both collapsed.
because we're
Ignition start selector IR.
we're able to go through all this stuff, learn it, and do our own startup the right way. Now we could probably get one to start up.
Engine
But
2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box cut off collapsed.
would we really be doing it the right way? Maybe not. Because you really gotta, you can't just get in and start it up like a car, There's a lot of things that you gotta follow, and it's gonna be very specific, very exact. There's the consistency of things that you can't be flawless. You can't be making mistakes. It's got to be a flawless routine every time. So
Engine 2 fuel switch list cut off.
So, for an example, I have enough to at least
Idle.
get through.
Engine 2 fuel valve light closed.
We
Engine 2
have
spar.
enough to at least get the thing.
Engine
up
2
and
fuel valve light
running
closed.
from
Engine 2 spar valve light
pre-flight
closed.
to, taxi flow. Just up to taxi flow. And
Engine 1 moving. Engine 1 fuel
not
switch
like
combo box
starting
cut
a
off
car,
collapsed.
because all you have to do is put your key in the car, turn the ignition, wait until you hear
Expand.
a certain
Engine 1 fuel switch
sound,
list
and
cut
then
off.
let off on it. And there's your car start. With this, you have to have a different sequence of things done in a particular order of the ways that things have to be done, because I am trying
Engine
to
1 grouping.
find or figure out a workflow.
Engine 1 start selector combo box GRD
to get
collapsed.
this thing up and running as far as like TFM goes.
Abu start selector combo box on collapsed.
And there was one point where I was actually able to get it to run yesterday.
Expanded.
I got the engines all up and running and everything transferred over for power.
Abu selector.
I forgot how
Abu
to
selector
do
start.
it. And now I get the APU up and running and everything else like that.
Abu selector on off.
Turn off ground power.
Navigation
and
off.
I lose
CDU message
Action off. IRS
display.
GPS light on. Flight recorder light on.
Single
Flight control
FMC
Lights
operation.
Mm-hmm.
all the AC and DC volts go to 0. But the APU is still running. Go figure.
Lockheed Martin Prepar 3 DV401 column. Lockheed Martin Prepar.
So there's something I'm missing somewhere.
Yeah.
So that
737
it's
cockpit.
like
LASO 11.0.0.34 high performance rate.
controls, and you have to be able to figure out
737 cockpit.
all of
Battery.
them in order.
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1.
That's what I say. It's got to
So-
be.
Abu start selector
You know.
combo box off collapsed. Abu selector on. Abu generator bus light on. Dual bleed light on. Abu gen 1 off bus light on. Engine generator off bus light on.
It's got to be perfect. You know.
So
Abu
you
selector
have,
start. Abu selector. Abu selector start. Abu selector on.
So you have to have certain
Number 2 starter
now,
engaged.
Some of the stuff you can do in different order.
Number 2
Once
generator
you
active.
get
Engine 2 hydraulic pump low pressure light off.
engines
Engine 1
running
hydraulic
and
pump low
stuff,
pressure light off.
Different things you can do in different order. But until you get the engines up and running and stuff, it has
Number
to
2
be in
ignition
a
on.
particular order. In certain cases, like the after start flow, some of it has to be done in order because that's your hydraulic pumps.
Drive 2 light off. Engine 2
A
auto.
few other bleeds and all that stuff, but like
Mhm.
the anti-ice and the auto brake and
Engine
all
1
that,
grouping. Engine 1 start selector combo box
don't have to
GRD
do
collapsed.
those in any particular order
Engine 1 fuel switch combo box cut off
because
collapsed.
they don't depend on each other in order to actually work.
Yeah.
Engine 1 fuel switch list cut off.
So I'm trying this.
Idle. Engine 1 fuel valve light closed. Engine 1 spar valve light closed. Idle. Engine 1 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 1 spar valve light in transit. Engine 1 fuel valve light closed. Engine 1 spar valve light closed. Number 1 starter engaged.
And turn on battery.
So
Number
I
1
just
generator active.
was doing a little run through here, just playing around with it, and I did it the same way First Officer did. I thought,
Number
should
one
I do
ignition on.
left or right? So as you guys can tell, the engine in your right ear is actually up first because that's engine 2.
Drive 1 light off. Engine 1 auto.
1 is left. And you know what's cool about this, Andy, is once that engine started, like everything just kind of automatically went into the position they need to be in.
Yep. Now what you need to do is they
Number
flip
1 starter
to
off.
auto. You need
Engine.
to put them into continuous mode.
Engine 2 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
Okay, let's see here.
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Okay, go to 1.
Engine 1 start selector combo box auto collapsed.
Engine 1 start selector auto.
Yeah, so you need to move it to continuous. And then number 2, you need to move to continuous.
Engine 1 cont.
Continuous. Here we go.
Abu start panels preview. Ignition selector com. Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed. Cut off. Number 2 cut off. Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 spar valve light in transit. Cut off. Engine 2 idle. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Ignition selector combo box IR collapsed. Number 2 starter engaged. Number 2 ignition on. Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Let's see.
Engine 2 fuel switch list idle. Cut off. Idle. Number.
I'm just playing around with this, guys, because...
Ignition selector combo box IR collapsed. Engine 2 fuel valve light open. Engine 2 spar valve light open. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Engine 2 fuel valve light in transit. Engine 2 spar valve light in transit. Engine 2 fuel valve light closed. Engine 2 spar valve light closed. Number 2 starter engaged. Number 2 ignition on.
Number 2 ignition on.
Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed. Ignition selector combo box IR collapsed. Number 2 starter off. Panels preview. Engines 1. Ignition selector combo box IR collapsed. Ignition selector. Ignition start selector both.
There we go. Let's do that.
INL. Engine 2 grouping. Engine 2 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Okay.
Engine 2 start selector combo box auto collapsed. Engine 2 GRD.
Okay.
Engine 1 grouping. Engine 1 fuel switch combo box idle collapsed.
Anyway, I'm just playing around with it. And you guys can do the same thing. You know, you're able to get the previews and play around with them. I'll tell you what I do, and I don't know about Andy, but like for example, this newest one, instead of me fully dependent on flying with it, what you can do is kind of have it side by side, right? So try it out, fly with it. If something goes wrong in your flight, like your flight or something, just load up the main TFM, get rid of the preview, and load up your main TFM, and you'll be a jolly fella. You'll be just fine. Test it out, play with it, whatever. But anyway, cool stuff. If you guys got questions, by all means, let's
Lockheed Mark folder view list. Google Chrome 40 of 76. Runway lookup. RCV 4. Restream chat 6 of 76. Context men open O. Send the copy. Backup the drop. Move the drop. Open file. Run as administrator. Folder view list. Restream chat 6 of 76. App start
bring
cursor.
them. Right now the
Normal
time
cursor.
to bring them. I'm
Normal
going to
cursor.
chat right now. So if you
Restream
got
chat 01,
questions
column
about
1.
how TFM works,
Normal cursor.
you got questions about the
Edit protected
panels,
blank.
you got questions about startup, shutdown, anything at all, you can ask it. We'll try to answer your questions. We're not going to sit here for an hour and wait for, run through 150 questions or something. But
Create account link.
if you got
Edit
something
protected
that,
blank.
you
Edit
want
blank.
to talk about, I'm going to log
Blank.
in here
Blank.
to the chat.
G. Add. Edit protected blank. Blank. Recaptcha grouping privacy link terms link protected by type. Clickable menu button sub menu. The chat is waiting for heading level. The chat is clickable menu button sub menu.
All right.
The chat is waiting for new messages.
Chat is up for you guys. So if you got a question, if you are on YouTube, go ahead and ask those questions. I do not have chat open for Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff. Right now it's just YouTube. We're giving YouTube the love tonight. So, technology can be really weird, and all I'm going to tell you is my computer just done some weird stuff today. And I'm in the transition of moving to a new office. And let me tell you, talking about a job. I mean, I've got to run my internet line. I've got to... It's a job. So, Brandon Armstrong, you said you was listening, but I don't see no questions, so I'm guessing you're not really listening. But anyways, anybody else might be listening. Again, I want to thank you guys for watching this stream, the sneak peek previews. We love doing these. Remember, you can get a shorter version, a much shorter version on Andy's channel for TFM. Alright? He does the same thing, only it's just straight what it is, and bam, done. Here is kind of your VIP stream, right? You can come here, ask questions. If you got them, then, we'll answer if we can. If you don't, then you don't. But that's the difference there. In the description, you guys, you're going to find all the links. You're going to find the first link there is to TFM.com. The second link will take you to the blog page, TFM.com/blog. The third link will take you to the download page, TFM.com/downloads. Or download. I can't remember how. I think it's download. The next one is our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitch, our email. Contact us if you got questions. Okay?
Oxygen level 67.
Thank you for telling me my oxygen level. I appreciate that there, Mr. Sensor. Andy, what is next week? I know you said it earlier, but I was in the middle of reading stuff and
Restream chat.
didn't pick that up. We're
Unknown.
doing
Lasso 11.0.
active
Lockheed Martin. Prepar 3D. 737 cockpit. A system submenu space.
So what do we got next week?
Let's see, so
Lockheed Martin. Prepar.
next week we have. Next week we will hopefully have the MCP panel and another preview build.
Is that the flight? The next preview we do? The next? I thought you said the next sneak peek we got to do a
Yeah,
flight.
the next preview we. Yep.
And what's that covering?
Is going to cover the MCP.
Oh, so just flying and just doing a basic overview of the MCP? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, basically it's going to be the MCP, the new one.
Oh, there's another one being. Oh, okay. So there's a new MCP being done.
Yeah, there's a new MCP we're doing.
Okay. You were saying something about runways when landing and stuff. What were you talking about earlier? That.
Oh yeah. No, so like I was saying that we were gonna discontinue, or not even discontinue, we're not going to include the FS panel, because even though you can push buttons on it, what sense is it in using it if you can't see what is actually being done? So for an example, you can push the mins button to cycle through your minimums and choose the one you want, but what good is that if you can't extract the minimums that you've chosen from
I didn't know
the
there was a.
airplane?
I didn't know there
So,
was a
like,
minimums button.
Yeah, there's a minimums button on the FS panel,
So when I
but
pull
we
up,
can't get to the minimums.
left bracket control C is a CDU. That's what one. Is that where it's at?
I don't think so. We don't have access to it anywhere.
Oh, we don't have access to the FS panel.
Not to the FS, EFIS, no. Because the FS panel is where you set up your navigation displays, your flight plan. Because the navigation display, for an example, it's got different modes, like navigation display, which shows
Yeah.
a chart of your progress through your route. It's got flight plan, where it'll actually display your flight plan. It has waypoint, WPT, which shows you the next available waypoint
So hold
that
on,
you're
then.
headed
Are-
to
so
and how far you have left.
Are we getting in are we getting like another panel or something, or like I'm not following them fully here?
No, so so this is the FS panel, where you can change the radar on the
Yeah, but we've
TCAS,
never
how
had
far
access
out
to
will
that.
your radar choose.
We've never had access to that.
Yeah, we don't have. Right, but what I'm saying is it's next in the SDK, but we're going to skip it because
Oh.
there's no use for us having it if we can't
Okay.
use any of the information it provides. Because all you're going to do is just be randomly pushing buttons on it.
Right. So
And
yeah.
so
It's all visual stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna skip that. Then the next thing is the MCP, or the autopilot features, which we are rebuilding from scratch. And after that, you have the heads-up display. And some of the heads-up, this is where I was talking about the runways and stuff. Some of the heads-up display stuff we can use. Like, it has all of the landing, rollout, and takeoff indicators. So it's got like the
Okay.
single autopilot, it's got the single, double, and triple auto land indicators. It has the rollout,
Yeah.
rollout controls and flare and takeoff and all that kind of stuff. Indicators. So we could use all that stuff. Some of the stuff we can't use is like runway. So what happens in this thing, you can ask George about it, is you put in the runway. You put in where you're going to, and you put in the runway length. And it will calculate where you should touch down, roughly where you, and it'll give you visual pointers at where you should touch down and where you should have your final stop.
Yeah. It actually puts these little markers on the actual screen. Yeah. He was talking to that about me. That's what you're. Okay. I know where you're at now. Okay.
It puts little markers and arrows on the runway, and when you get onto final approach, it actually shows you a nose cone preview
Of the runway.
The runway.
Yeah.
As you're coming up to it. But what this thing will do, it will insert pins, arrows, guidelines, and everything like that on top of the runway to show you where you're supposed to, like, inch over to the left a little bit more. You're banking just a teeny too bit to the right now. And it will literally show you where you need to touch down and how fast you need to be in order to hit your mark.
Yeah.
I mean, it will tell you to the millimeter how far. It'll tell you to the millimeter how off you are.
Let me ask you a question. And I know that people have got this going through their mind right now. So, guys, I'm going to be, just for a minute, I'm going to be your psychic. I'm going to be your mind reader. Andy. What parts of this can be fed to us?
So the parts that you can get are the single, double, and triple auto land lights, the takeoff lights, the rollout lights, the roll-in lights, and I think there's a couple other things in there that we can get, but one thing we cannot get is that nice little animated issue with the runway.
Okay.
That we won't be able to get.
But at least when we know,
But
you're
for, I
going to
think,
know on the 737 after this, you'll know when the auto lights are going, because, you know, it'll show that AP1 and AP2 are, well, we've got to activate it ourselves anyway, but you're going to know if it doesn't activate.
Yep.
And like in Autoland,
Yeah.
that should give us some information on the lights.
Yep. So it'll say something like,
Autoland failed. Turn around, dummy, and
'cause
try
really-
again.
Yep. Well, actually, don't don't count that out, because I believe there is a fail light.
Okay.
There's, and it's not because it has a heads-up fault light, which means
Oxygen level 68.
technical problem.
Yeah.
But if there is a fail light, then generally it means like your approach failed or your landing is gonna not work for some reason or another.
Yeah.
But generally what these single, double, and triple lights are for
Lockheed Martin Pre-Par 3 DV4.
is it
Ops
tells you
28.0.0,
what
64-bit Windows
category
profile,
ILS
untitled
you're
scenes.
trying to land on.
Audio. Volume slider for VATSIM. Properties for VATSIM. Volume. Mute. Mute.
2 and 3 are usually auto land,
Source. Off.
but
Off. Duration spin button 9.
3
Add
is the
configurable. Ops
most,
28.0.0, 64-bit. Scene
most-
transitions with duration spin button. Add configurable transition button.
I guess has the most
Controls
features
window. Stop streaming checkbox
for
checked.
auto land.
Scene transition. Duration spin button 950 ms. Add configurable
Takes
transition
care
button.
of everything once you
Duration spin.
have auto
Transition combo
land
box fade down.
with Command A
Audio
and
mixer window,
B
grouping.
in place, then you don't have
Scene
to do
transitions window.
anything.
Transition
All
combo
you
box
gotta
fade
do
down.
is set your
Duration spin button
cursors out
950.
and your
Add configurable
brakes
transition
will
button.
land. But otherwise it'll do everything else.
That is so
Category
cool.
2, it will take care of
Duration spin button
everything.
950
It'll
ms.
take care
Transition
of
combo box fade down.
everything except for flare.
Duration
but it
add
will tell
control.
you
Start
when
recording
you
checkbox
should
not checked.
flare.
Stop streaming checkbox checked.
And you should disconnect autopilot and auto throttle by that point.
Yeah. So we got some cool stuff coming up in the future, you guys. Again, if you got questions or all kinds of information in the description, you can contact us. We got the email. We got several links for you to reach out to Andy if you got questions. But just don't bombard him about questions, that obviously stuff that, he's not going to probably reply to if it's something silly. He's going to tell you like everybody else, just wait and see. Or watch the videos. So, because I had someone, Gerald, I'm not sure where you're from. I know the name's Gerald. You've emailed me 3 times, and the reason you not got an email back is because these videos are for just what you emailed me for. You're asking me about stuff that we've not published yet. I'm not going to tell you any sooner than anybody else. And so when you email and say, what is the information to reach the developer at TFM? I mean, we've been given links for a long time. So the link to TFM is there. If you got a question for him or for them, you can go to tfm.com and do the contact. But as I told you in the email, and I guess you thought that, like, I didn't know what I was telling you, but they're not going to give you stuff that you're going to get on the video for next week or in a month. They're not going to tell you, yeah, this is what we're going to do next week, and it's this, and this. You got to watch the videos, man. That's what it's about. The other question I wanted to answer real quick, I'm going to get it out of the way. You asked me twice. I answered it actually once, but I'm not going to answer it again, besides right here. PMDG is payware. There's no way possible for someone to give you the PMDG just a 737 and say, here, go fly it. They can buy it as a gift for you maybe, but just asking, hey, can you just send me the 737 folder and let me fly it? No, I can't do that. Nobody can do that. Nobody can do that, because our keys are connected to the aircraft. So let's say that someone sent you that folder and you put it in your P3D and you tried to load it. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. So instead of arguing with me through an email, just say, okay. I mean, I'm not going to lie. You can't share PMDG stuff. It's payware. I know times are tough. If you're wanting a plane, don't have it. I get it. I've been there. But I just had to wait till I had the money. Or, maybe you get lucky and someone to get it for you. But, yeah, we can't share airplanes. Not those. Freeware, we can share those all day. No big deal. But not the payware. I know you said you was going to email TFM so they can help you with the PMDG. answer's going to be no. And I'm already speaking for Andy, but I mean, I can ask him now. Andy, will you send him a PMDG?
Nope.
It's just not possible. It's not because we're being mean.
Well, see, here's the
You just
thing.
can't.
Right. And well, see, here's the thing. So you could probably send him the installer. He can install it, try to load it in the sim, but at some point during that process, it'll ask him for a serial number, or not a serial number, a key code, activation code.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have to activate it. So that's where buying it will get you the activation code. We can't give you the activation codes because one, it's a violation of the terms that we agreed to when we bought it, just like any software you would buy.
Yeah, exactly.
And two, even if we could get around that or wanted to get around that, they've roped us to a certain number of installs before our keys are invalid.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we want everybody to fly, but just everything can't be shared like that. Like FS Tramp, you got a key for that, and that at least gets you into the freeware. I didn't mind sharing.
Yeah.
Like not with you because I didn't share with you, but I'm saying, I don't mind sharing FS Tramp keys because we try to keep it where everybody don't got to buy that or whatever. But payware, I don't mess around with trying to get, jammed up over it. I'm just not going to. And then now you got two people that can't fly because one person did something they shouldn't do. I mean, it's just, silliness. But you can get the 737 for $90 or $99. I can't remember. I think it's $99.
$99, yeah.
Yeah. So for $100,
Yeah, it's $99.
Even if you got to save up 2 months, 1 month, put back $50. Next month, put back $50. There you go, man. Fly away. Until then, get the 737 and fly on FS Tramp. Fly with that. Because when you told me in the email you're paying a monthly subscription for P3D, that's okay. You can do that. No big deal. So see, it'll work. So, anyways, if you guys got, logical questions or whatever, I'm sure Andy would be glad to answer them. You can contact him. Go to tfm.com. Click on the contact link. Send him an email at the questions. He'll get back to you if the question's important. That's the best way I know to put it. Be sure to follow us on the Twitter at BVI Pilots. So twitter.com/BVI Pilots. If you're doing videos, you can also share.
I want to make a fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to make a fast note to everyone before I forget to do it. This is gonna be one really hot feature in TFM that I'm sure a lot of people have been asking for. It's probably going to be the most popular, widely accepted feature, and it's only a single button press. It's called the FMC reset button. So if you, all those times where you get halfway through your flight plan set up and something's screwed up and now you have to reset your FMC to the beginning again, one button press will blank it out.
That way you don't got to go to Code and Dark and reset it. Goodness.
Yep.
That's the way to do it right now.
Reset it just like it was cold and dark. Yep.
Only this time your jet will still be fired up.
Cold and dark reset.
So you can hit the. Let's say you mess it up and your jet's already running and you're already at taxi, but you messed up something. Reset button. Program it. You don't got to restart.
Just press FMC reset. Yep.
Oh.
And it will just erase it blank.
That'd
There
be
you go.
beautiful.
Back to the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you start your FMC workflow all over again.
That'd be nice. That will be nice. That's some luxury right there, guys.
Another cool. Yep. That will come later. later. It's gonna be one of those highly coveted FMC features, but won't come until later. So by the time everybody gets to that point, everybody's gonna be ready to rip TFM to shreds trying to find it.
Well, the easiest way right now to
But,
do it is just go to Code and Dark. Seriously.
Yep.
Go to Code and Dark, start over.
You just have to start over. Yep. Start everything all over again.
It's better than restarting
Another
your sim
cool
all
thing.
over. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I'd rather hit a reset button than restart the sim all over again. That would be a pain in the nose. But another really cool thing that I think people might like is, you know how in TFM right now, if you do right bracket F, it tells you your fuel and how much you're burning per hour.
Yep.
If you do, I believe it's right bracket B, and it tells you how much your fuel burn is. So, PMDG, I think the actual airplanes have this too. It has a button that you can press, and when you press it, it flips between different settings, like not used, used, rated, burned. And so what a burn rate. So what it will do is it will flip between this display that shows you either how much fuel you have left, like TFM does now. It'll show you the actual burn rate per fuel tank and per fuel pump, just like TFM does now. Or it will tell you how much fuel you've used on a trip. So instead of how much do you have left, how much did you use? So it's the complete reverse. And TFM, I believe, has access to all of that stuff.
Nice.
And we're gonna try and work that in. So
Awesome.
if people want to know, oh, I need to know how much fuel I used, then you just flip it over to used.
Yep.
And then your fuel tanks will tell you how much you used, not how much you have left.
Very nice. Good deal. Alright guys, it's been great. As always, we will be back here again next week. What do we got? Are we on next week?
If not before next week. If not before next week, it might be Sunday.
Okay, there you go. So you guys be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Hey, be sure, if you're not subscribed to the BVI Pilots, be sure to tap on that subscribe button. Join us here at BVI Pilots. Remember, we got to go. We're trying to reach 100 subscribers. I've had to move the goal up because we didn't make it. So I'm going to give all of September. Guys, all of September. We can do this. Let's get these subs up. We are at 61 or 62, something like that. We have moved up, so we're slowly moving, and that's okay. I get it. But just share on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, any of your social sites that you might be a part of. Put it out there. Please put it out there for us and help us get our name out there. We want to show people what we can do, what the future of technology has gave, the blind community. Okay? So be sure to like, share, subscribe, set your notifications to always so you're notified each and every single time that we publish a new video. Until next time, my friends, be safe, have fun, don't be taking food from innocent cab drivers and, stuff like, you don't want to do that. I'm just kidding, Daryl. Y'all take care, man. Again, we appreciate every one of you guys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe. As I said, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Check out TFM.com and definitely check out the blog page, TFM.com/blog. B as in boy, L as in.
Oh, you got it wrong. You got it wrong. It's talkingflightmonitor.com.
Oh, I thought it was TFM.com.
No, talkingflightmonitor.com.
But you have a TFM.com as well, right?
Nope. Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, we'll fix that. I was thinking TFM.com, my bad. TalkingFlightMonitor.com/blog. I'm glad you said that, Andy. I didn't even think about that. You guys go there, check it out. The blog will keep you updated on all the changes, everything happening. Exciting stuff. So, until next time, y'all take care. Keep the blue skies up. I'm telling you, if you got the blue skies down,
Stop streaming. Check
Houston, we definitely got a problem. See ya.
Stop stream dialog. You will not be able